Special Governing Board meeting of the Jefferson Elementary School District, August 6, 2014 at 7 p.m. Could we have members present, please?
Joseph Otaide.
Here.
Shaquille Ali.
Here.
Joseph Waters.
Here.
Rebecca Douglas.
Here. Okay, and we need a Pledge of Allegiance. I don't think we really need a leader for this. Stand and pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Say if like six of us can't do the pledge in unison, more or less, without a leader, we're in trouble. Okay, could we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Waters and Mr. Otaide. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Great. Okay, we have any comments from the administrators tonight?
Yes, I do. When someone was talking about it being summer still, but it's rapidly leaving us, our first day of school is August 20th. It's a Wednesday and a minimum day. And those of you who have new students for our district, we will start registration at the school sites on Monday, August 11th.
Yes. I also want to share this week the remainder of our teachers that weren't able to participate in June in the math training are participating this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, alongside teachers from the other North County districts. It was a great experience to see everybody working together, and it's a good feeling to know that the North County districts are working together on this project.
All right.
And
great.
also for any listeners out there who know of rising seventh graders, it's a reminder that all entering seventh graders must have a Tdap booster shot in place before they start school. So everybody, all the doctors and physicians are prepared to do that, and they have the supplies there. So.
Yes, good reminder. Okay, do we have any board comments?
Yeah, I attended the COPE annual banquet, the San Mateo County Central Labor Council, and it was well attended. Mr. Waters was there. Also, people who have been affiliated with our district in the past and present. There was at least 3 teachers, I believe, from our district, and also Melinda Dart was there, and it was a very good meeting. They honored certain organizers who have been out there protecting the rights of common people and working people, and one in particular was an author, and you'd have probably liked her, but she wrote a book about the not just fast food, but just restaurant industry, which is the fastest growing industry in the country and the second largest, but they have these low wage workers, and they want us to pay their tips. The restaurant owners want the people that eat there to pay the tips so that their employees get a livable wage. So it's not fair. And anyway, it was a good evening, great speakers, and Will Durst was there as usual. And that's it.
I just wanted to let people know, I know that tonight at the Westlake Library, they're having the summer reading celebration, but I want to let people know it's not too late to turn in summer reading things and enter the drawing for the $1,000 scholarship. So finish up those little reading projects and get back to the libraries on that. I also want to say that in the last few days, I've seen an inordinate number of children out on bicycles and skateboards without helmets, and I don't like seeing that. Should pick my helmet up and stick it on the desk to remind people. That was all I had to say. Do we have any?
We don't have any correspondence or
Okay.
superintendent
No,
comments.
you already commented. Okay, great. Okay, that brings us to the consent agenda. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve consent agenda?
Second.
Okay, and we need a roll call vote for that.
Oh, I forget that I'm doing everything today. Mr. Otaide,
Aye.
Mr. Ali,
Aye.
Mr. Waters,
Aye.
Dr. Douglas.
Aye. Great. Okay. Jumps us down to Section 1, Item 8, the approval of minutes, and I understand we need to make a correction on the May 28 minutes.
Yes, we do. If on May 28th, Ms. Melinda Dart asked to close the meeting in memory of the brother of one of our teachers. She inadvertently gave us the wrong name, so the correct name, and should be reflected in the minutes, is Timothy Galvin. So if we can accept the minutes with that change,
Okay.
that would be great.
Okay, I so move. We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
So I didn't catch that, but who made the motion and who seconded it?
I made the motion and who seconded it?
I
Mr.
did.
Ali seconded it.
We both did, but I think I was
Wow.
first.
That was a lot of work.
Is it- Okay, and if I'm not missing anything, which since I've got nice little red circles around these things, I hope I'm not, that brings us to Section 4, Certificated Personnel, Item 2, Administrative Appointment. So we have the appointment before us of William West as Dean of Academic Support, intern status for Ben Franklin Middle School. Do you have anything further to add, or?
Well, Mr. West has worked in the district, I should know how many years, but quite a few years as a social studies teacher. He's involved with student government, very involved in our district. So
Basketball
I think it'll
coach
be,
as well.
yeah, coaching too.
Yes.
So I think it would be a good transition for him into an administrative position.
Motion to approve Mr. West as.
I just have one question before we vote.
Sure.
Is this a position that's at every school, or is this just a site-based decision that was made, or?
Yes, it's site-based decision based on the new funding, the LCSF funding. And so there's 2 sites with dean positions, John F. Kennedy and Ben Franklin.
All right, and do you think that is something that's good for our district to have these dean positions, or what do you think about it?
I certainly do, having been one myself many years ago. When you have a large school, it's just really nice to have one more person who can make those contacts with students
All
and their
right.
families.
All right.
Are we looking to have this at every school?
There was schools' decisions on their particular
How-
funding, so
yeah.
I don't know how it will go in the future. I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yeah, so at this point, we're leaving it up to each individual school site. Some of our larger schools, Ben Franklin with the addition of the 6th graders, and John F. Kennedy among one of our largest elementary schools chose to do this. Another added benefit that we always lament is that we don't have a strong enough pipeline for principals in particular, or assistant principals. And if more schools have positions like deans, and there's more opportunities for teacher leaders to move into those positions, when other positions become available, there's a group of individuals with beginning administrator experience to be able to take on greater responsibilities. So that's a positive, I think, for our district.
Do they have something like that at Policita?
Policita currently just has an assistant principal.
Okay.
So that would be something to look into if they want that, but I just wanted to hear your thoughts about it so we could publicly commend and acknowledge them for making that decision and creating that position.
Yeah, and that's something that I imagine other schools will be looking at, the 2 who have hired deans this year and thinking about whether they will want to in future. Some of the schools are small enough, I can't see them ever feeling that need, but some of the other larger ones, like, the other junior highs perhaps, may want to take a closer look. Okay, so we have a motion on the table to approve this appointment. We need a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay. Item 5, job description for program coordinator, special education.
I want to make a comment sort of on that in the next item, the job description for program months ago, the program director for mental health / student services.
Uh-huh.
And in the meantime, we had that special ed study, and we paid close attention to a lot of what was suggested for that. And it seemed that it now makes more sense to divide that position up a little bit. And the job description for program coordinator special education would focus on services for special education students and professional development. And to keep that separate from program specialist for student services. So,
Okay. So
And what-
the second one, student services, is general education as opposed to special education.
right, that would be
Okay.
better.
But does that also include special education as well? All right, that was my question as well. All right.
Right. Okay.
That was something that you thought that should happen. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So are there any other questions or comments on the job description for
Another.
the program coordinator for special education?
Just a heads up that I've been receiving communications from people who are still having questions about our special education department. So I'm sure you are as well.
Yes, and I think we will receive the report at our next meeting.
All right.
So that's an opportunity to hear what the findings. Again, the findings were very similar to what we would have anticipated.
All right.
One of the findings is, and this is the reason why we are developing this job description for a program coordinator in the special education department, is that compared to other districts of similar size, serving similar number of students, we are well understaffed in the department, which is part of the reason people have been doing multiple things and oftentimes not being able to do everything that they were supposed to. So we really want to make sure that we have an opportunity to make a difference in a department, and we should staff it appropriately.
All right, great.
So we can hope that this is a first step towards ameliorating some of the problems with delays in special ed identifications and so forth.
Great.
Good place to start, having people to actually do the jobs. So, we have a motion. Do you want to make a motion?
Motion to approve. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You got it?
No, after you.
Good boardsmanship.
Go.
Motion to approve the program coordinator job description and
Second.
position.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? And item 6, the job description for the general one. I have only one question about that one, which was that there is the sort of alternative job descriptions based on whether or not the person has an administrative credential. And I wondered, shouldn't that, I mean, I would have said that that would be something you'd want to have be a consistent description, or is this essentially hedging our bets against an inability to get a candidate who has that credential as well as the other?
Well, I think we may find that there's many qualified people with the pupil services credential, but not necessarily with the administrative credential. So the additional jobs for the administrative credential, Ms. McCulloch would oversee some of the things around, it's mostly expulsion related. So that would be doable. So it gives us, I think, a better choice of candidates.
A better pool.
Yeah.
Okay, so, that was kind of what I figured, that would be,
The preference, of course, is to have someone with both.
right.
That's the ideal situation.
Right.
You know, but we didn't want to exclude, because once we
You don't want to
interview-
leave your pool too small.
We don't want to leave it too small, because then you don't have, it's better to have choices than to.
Right. And those other administrative duties are ones that can be absorbed by other
And can
people,
be
or
overseen.
currently presumably are
Yeah.
being done by other people
Correct.
anyway.
And they would be overseen and-
Excuse
by an
me.
administrator.
So I'm saying this is a grant-funded position?
This would be funded from our supplemental and concentration grants as part of our state district funds.
Okay, so
Or the
that's money that
LCFF.
will keep
Yes,
coming? Okay.
ongoing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says grant, but it is
Gotcha.
Right.
regular funding.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Make a motion to approve the job description for program specialist
Second.
Student services.
of student services. I'm not looking at them.
Yeah, that's- I just want to make sure it's 100% clear. And we have a second from Mr. Waters. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition?
Nay.
Okay, great. And Is this really true? Does that bring us to the last item on our agenda?
I believe so.
Something's wrong here.
But wait, I'd like to digress.
Glad we're focused now.
So,
This was because of not having a quorum before.
right, and this is taking care
This
of
is our July meeting.
This is taking care of a little bit of stuff to keep
a
our
time
next
warp
meeting
right
from
now.
being completely unmanageable.
Right.
So we do have item 8,
I
the
have a
second
fine.
read,
Oh.
item 8 under whichever section we're under at this
Yeah, I couldn't
point.
even find it.
Section 5, classified. The second reading of the revised job descriptions for several classified management and confidential employee positions. I actually have a question about that, too, if I can find it now. And that was that there were 2 positions, and I assume that, there again, that it's because sometimes we need one and sometimes we need the other. It was the Director of Maintenance and Operations, one also bond program direct, and the other without bond program. And that looked redundant, except I'm guessing that the idea is not to have both at the same time, but to have one who is also doing bond program when we have bonds to oversee.
Yeah, that is a correct guess. So what we've learned is, so these are positions that the district has. We've never eliminated any of them.
Uh-huh.
So we have to update. We have to update all of them. And so currently we have a director of maintenance, and we have a director who is also a director of bond programs. That's Mr. Young.
Uh-huh.
However, we do utilize other employees to take care of some of the director of maintenance work. That's just director of maintenance work. So we do need to have that job description alone
As
so
well.
that
Okay,
an employee can do that.
no, that makes sense. Like I
And when
said,
the
it was-
bond is done, we will go back to director of maintenance.
Right. If we're ever completely free of
We're ever
bonds to
done with that
oversee.
and done with all state funds,
Yeah.
there will be a state bond for more school construction work, so.
Construction will always be with us, right? Okay, does anybody else have any questions or clarifications on those job descriptions?
Nada.
No.
Cool.
Motion to approve second reading.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Well done. And I'm assuming in the last 15 minutes, we've not come up with any board member comments or reports that we didn't already make. So,
We have
we
some
have
adjournments
a
there.
request to adjourn in memory of a couple of people from our community. So we're going to adjourn first, before we adjourn, a moment of silence in memory of Sandy DeBono, who was the PTA president at George Washington Elementary School and died suddenly quite recently. And Ken Birak, who's the former PTO member at Thomas Edison School and a parent at Fernando Rivera, who continued to help at Thomas Edison, even though his children were no longer at the school. And also Lydia Perez, mother of Margarita Vargas, who's administrative assistant in the district office. So if we could have a moment of silence in memory of Sandy DeBono, Ken Birak, and Lydia Perez. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.
What time?